Om Tat Sat. My humble prostrations to the all-pervading Brahman, to my worshipful Guruji, Swami Jyotirmayanandaji Maharaj, to sage Narada and all other sages and saints, and to each of you divine soul watching today's satsang. We are currently studying Narada Bhakti Sutras. We are on chapter number 4, Sutra number 78, and it is Glory of One Pointed Devotion. Commentaries by my worshipful Guruji, Swami Jyotirmayanandaji, narrated by myself, Swami Nikhilananda. So let's get started. Narada Bhakti Sutras, Sutra 78, part number 2. So we were talking about all the things that are required: ahimsa, satya, shaucha, daya, astikyadi, charitrayani, paripali, niyani, which means all these righteous conducts should be observed, which we covered yesterday, and we will continue that today. So today, moving forward, the other virtues we need are daya. Daya is compassion, and it is absolutely critical in having a good heart and a compassionate heart, in promoting a melting heart towards the suffering of others. So we should feel the pain, feel empathy when others are struggling, and imagine, put ourselves in their shoes, and have that compassion to alleviate their pain to the best of one's capacity. So we should try to help with what we can, even at the risk of enduring a certain degree of pain oneself. So even if we have to be a little uncomfortable to help somebody and we are able to do so, we should certainly do that. Do unto others as you wish others do unto you. That's the popular saying. But these are not just words. Unless we convert them into actions, they just remain theoretical. So this biblical statement is also indicating compassion. Compassion also implies freeing oneself from the sense of false superiority. So we should not become egotistical or think we are very great. We are all the same. We are all here for a little while on this planet Earth, and we'll all depart at different times. So what really matters is, can we treat each other with love, respect, with humanity? So deluded by a sense of superiority, many people look down upon those around them. So this creates cruelty. This creates a crust of cruelty around their heart, and therefore they are unknowingly getting further away from peace and happiness. A devotee, on the other hand, sees the divinity even under the mask of fallen men, and therefore offers flowers of compassion to the divine self abiding in them. He is aware that a sinner is a saint in the making. So they don't judge anybody, they don't get upset, they understand. Just like a doctor doesn't get upset at a patient's disease. If the patient is crying or cursing or angry, the doctor understands that he is sick. So similarly, sages and saints also view all these people with even harsh qualities with compassion. Then the other quality is astic. Being astic means being spiritual and having faith in God and the scriptures. This implies having intense faith in the scriptures and their description of God. So we should not doubt, are these scriptures right? We have not seen God. Should we? Is there a God? Should we pray, not pray? Although we are doing actions externally, internally we are not convinced, etc. So if we are thinking of that, then we need more homework to do. But we should be totally founded in firm faith. Only then can we walk on this journey. As we say, God is omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient, and He is the embodiment of compassion, beloved of His devotees. So He is Satchitananda, existence, knowledge, bliss, absolute. So by dwelling on these qualities, the mind of an aspirant becomes free of all the impurities that he has dwelled over time. That's why satsanga becomes so important. Association with sages and saints becomes so important. Reading your scriptures becomes so important. Following your rhythm and daily schedule, etc. You get the idea. His mind also discovers an immense delight in dwelling upon God, because he has the faith that one seeks in this world is found abundantly in God. That is the level of faith. So, for example, due to ignorance, one seeks happiness, fulfillment of love, knowledge, beauty, power, success, fame, wealth through the transient objects of this world. So, we want all these things, but we want them from the world. But how can the world give you these things? It itself is inert, it itself is being destroyed gradually. But when he develops faith in God, he discovers all these in God in infinite measure. So we just have to change our angle of vision. Turn around. Don't start looking at the world and everything, but start looking at your internal happiness and your journey towards spirituality and God. So, having found the ocean of love, joy, and prosperity, how can he then allow his mind to be distracted by the fleeting objects of the world? They cannot give you happiness. Objects can just give you momentary pleasure and then they go away. So, this faith endows him with an immense will to follow the path until the goal is reached. However, although an aspirant's faith in the beginning is conditioned by various limitations, it eventually becomes spontaneous by the practice. See, it takes practice. We cannot say devotion should suddenly sprout. Yes, it does matter what you have earned in your previous lives, but your effort also in this life is critically important. What we are doing with our actions daily. So we should practice satsanga, good association, serve others selflessly, do selfless service, and do other spiritual disciplines to cleanse your heart. All aspects of righteous conduct must be practiced and cultivated as one ascends higher and higher on the rungs of devotion. Thus, an aspirant, a serious aspirant, should enrich his knowledge of virtue by studying the Raja Yoga Sutras, the Yamas, the Niyamas, the Devi Sampat, or the wealth of divine qualities as described by Lord Krishna in the 16th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. He has talked about actually all the qualities of demoniac people, qualities of worldly people, and qualities of spiritual people. So, if we read that chapter with devotion and faith, we will know what to avoid and what to do. So, the Devi Sampat consists of Devi means divine qualities. Sampat means wealth. So the divine wealth that we need to acquire on this path includes fearlessness, purity of our heart, wisdom, steadfastness in knowledge, yoga, charity, self-control, sacrifice, austerity, straightforwardness, simple-mindedness, non-violence, truthfulness, absence of anger, peacefulness, absence of crookedness, compassion, non covetousness, non hoarding, gentleness, modesty, absence of fickle mindedness, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, purity, absence of hatred, absence of pride, etc. So you can imagine, we can sit here and talk about each of these qualities, but obviously you know what we are trying to address here, that these qualities should become part of our life. They should not just be words, but they should become our actions. Only then can we say we are walking on this path. And the more scriptures we read, the more we try to improve, the better we will become. On the other hand, the negative qualities which oppose the yamas, niyamas, daivi sampat, they are called the asuri sampat, like I just discussed. They are called demoniac qualities. These qualities must be completely eradicated. Include, these are hypocrisy, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and harsh speech, etc., lust, passion. All these are qualities. They're like the weeds that will take over your grass. So it requires a lot of effort to protect your good qualities and to quash the bad ones. Therefore, this is called sadhana, this process of purifying ourselves. And with this, we conclude Sutra number 78. We will take up Sutra number 79 tomorrow. Om Tat Sat.